wash my car. The wash my car part's fine because I haven't washed since I went to the track. I still have my number on my car.
Yeah, I see that.
That's fucking gross, dude.
You guys ready to roll?
Yeah, I want some ham trees.
All right, guys. Welcome back to the Project 4 podcast. We got the whole team here this time. So we got Justin Fonsenkio, Juan Tinajero, and me, Victor Jorge.
By the way, we have video now.
Oh, yes, we do have video. We're recording. We finally figured out what was up with the camera. It was actually overheating on us. So if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it, you'll actually get some visuals this time.
I'm not wearing the shirt.
And yeah, so a little update with what's been going on in our lives. We've got the podcast up on Apple Podcasts and Google Play Music. We're still working on iHeart Radio, and Spotify's been giving us some trouble. But you're listening to it here on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts since it is live now. Justin actually got a new puppy recently.
Yeah, my Spotify got hacked by like a Swedish dude. Did you know that? No, I had to make 2 new accounts on Spotify, and then they hacked me. So that's probably good we don't make a podcast. Anyway, yeah, I got a new puppy. He's a corgi. Throw up a picture up there, Victor.
We don't have a picture of your corgi.
Darn it, that's okay. Next podcast, I'm going to show you a full-grown puppy.
Yeah, but he's also starting a new channel. It was called Cars and Corgi.
Cars and Corgi. Now, whenever I do finish that track video I said I was going to do last week, which I still haven't even started yet, Cars and Corgi will be up. I have no idea what I'm going to make of the channel or what it is going to be. Originally, I wanted it to be a vlog channel, but now I don't want to do that anymore because it's boring, and my life is boring. So I'm just going to make it like a fun, really meme-ish type video. Anyways, what we got today?
Well, before we start on that, Juan, you got anything you want to update us on? Your life?
Man, what you been doing, man?
Man, I just been working.
Just working.
Yeah.
That's what we said in the last podcast. Nothing new?
Nope.
Yeah. So, by the way, before we get started, go ahead and check out our website, project4official.com. Also check out our YouTube channel if you're an audio listener. Links for those will be in the show notes. We also have an Instagram you can check out. Links for that will also be down below in the show notes or in the description on YouTube. So on the last podcast, there was a part where we were talking about the Ford Bronco, and we were talking about how nostalgic it was and how, when people see the Bronco, they kind of get memories because it's a car that a lot of families rode in, whether it was to just go out and camp, go run errands, go to the drive-in, just do a bunch of cool family stuff. And so for this podcast, we're actually going to talk about our own experiences with our own cars. We're in our early 20s, but we've owned quite a few cars already. And so what we're going to do is we're kind of going to rotate, and each one of us is going to tell a story about one of our cars. So it will be, good memory, bad memory. What else? I mean, that's pretty much it. It doesn't have to be very detailed. If it is detailed, go ahead and give us all the detail, because, a detailed story does sound pretty good. So, who wants to start?
Ow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeesh, man. All right, I'll start.
All right.
Anyways, first up, I just did a mic check. Sync that. Talking about old cars. My very first car, actually, I got when I was, a car that I could say was mine, kind of. Generalizing, it got stolen. But anyways, my first car, I think when I was 17. Yeah, 17, senior year of high school, right? Senior high school, I was 17.
Beginning,
yeah. I graduated when I was 17 because young boy. And no, it was a 91? I can't remember because in 91 and 96 are 2 different generations. I can't remember which one I had. Mm-hmm. But one of the generations of the Infiniti i30 I had about 286,000 miles. I couldn't even believe it would still run because it got me through like the first year of college when I went to NWAC. Mm-hmm. And then the car still ran before it was like stolen. No, but that car was pretty cool, man. That was like my first car. That was like the first car that I ever was able to do like maintenance and stuff like that with. So
Yeah.
I always knew how to do the things like oil changes and stuff like that, but I never really got into like actually getting the nitty gritty of things. What we did with that car was my father and I we switched out the pretty much almost the whole suspension kit going on in there. I mean, it was just like, all it was in the 90s was like struts and springs anyway, and like an arm, a control arm. That was all it was, pretty much.
And an arm, you said?
Yeah,
Just one arm.
Just one arm. Just one arm. That's all we had. And yeah, I learned how to do all that stuff with that car. And would it still be running today? No, probably not. I think it probably have like 310,000 miles. And I don't even think it'd reach that far because the car wouldn't even start sometimes. I don't know what's going on with that. But that was first car I could put my own work into instead of just holding the flashlight. Mm-hmm. That's kind of all I grew up doing. That's it for that one. Yeah, that car didn't last very long. That car was like probably around for.
So the bad
college.
memory was it being stolen.
Yeah, it was stolen, dude. It friggin' sucked. Like,
How did that happen?
I don't even remember. No, I remember. All I remember is that I was trying to go to work one day, and then I was like, "Where'd my car go?" It's gone. That was it.
Wait, just in your neighborhood?
Yeah, it was gone. And I was like, "Yo, wait." That was it. That's it. That's the end of that one. Yeah, this car's gone.
Dang, so you could say that the good memories you had with it were just learning how to work on the car and just kind of develop that skill.
I was my own whip. That was the thing, because I was using the Tahoe to go to high school and stuff like that. When I got the I-30 to myself, I was like, dude, it's my own car. So that was cool.
Yeah. You want to go next one or?
All right, my first car or vehicle, I should say, was a 2000 Chevy S10. That was a truck vehicle I learned how to drive manual with. I got yelled at a bunch of times because I stalled so many times.
That's how you teach your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's by yelling because I yelled at them too.
You're an awful influence.
And good memories. I mean, I liked it. I learned how to do basic stuff on vehicles like oil changes, spark plugs. I even had to change the blower on it because it wouldn't blow any air. And what else happened? Oh, I made a dent on my dad's house.
Wait, what?
I remember. Yeah.
Or I should say the garage. The
Yeah,
garage door. I made a dent on it.
Was that with the truck?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, I remember this too.
Yeah, because I was like learning how to back up, and I was like I was like this, right? I was like this, and I was just like, I could go just a little bit more, and then
I remember this too.
So I get out, and I'm just like, fuck. So I'm just like,
I remember.
No, it's fine,
I remember this so much, man. That garage door. Does it still have that big dent? Yeah, dude. Oh.
I was trying to like hit it with the hammer back, but no.
You plunger it out.
No, I never thought of the plunger, but
Dude.
yeah, I was trying to like
Hit
it,
it out,
but it wouldn't come out.
You wouldn't notice.
And so, like, I don't know how long I kept it, but I would always like park right in front of it so my parents doesn't have to see the dent. And next thing you know, one day my parents were just like, "So you're gonna tell us about that dent?" And I was like,
"Huh?"
And I just started. I was like, "I'm so sorry. I should have told you guys whenever it happened."
Break down on your.
No, I didn't break down. I just felt like so bad.
You're just, Mom.
It's funny.
But yeah, that was one of the bad memories.
Mm-hmm.
Good memories. I mean, I had it for like 2 years, I believe.
Probably the longest car that.
Yeah.
Out of the group that we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that truck.
I liked it because we would always put people on the bed. And there was one time in high school we put a classmate back there, and it was me and Jonathan. Mm-hmm. We were just going to Burger King,
yeah.
and next thing you know, I slammed on the brakes, and he ended up hitting his head on the
It's like right below the back windshield.
There you go.
You're the reason why he has a Nintendo addiction. The brain damage like severed a part of his like nervous system.
No, it was somebody else. It wasn't Jonathan.
Oh, what the?
It was somebody else. But yeah, that's the vehicle that I learned how to drive stick with.
What did you ever do with that car again?
I sold it to an old lady.
Didn't somebody try to give you like an MR2 and like $1,000 for that thing?
Who?
when you're trying to sell the truck, there was someone like, I'll trade you this car and like $2.
I don't fucking remember. I got so many offers for that, but it wasn't like money. It was like other things.
Yeah,
like,
you told me about like
cars.
an MR2 that was like really lame.
That's interesting.
yeah. I regret it. I'm gonna buy one though. Just watch. One day.
Let's see. My first car was a 1993 Honda Civic. Juan's over there smiling.
Oh yeah, because I was like, you were the first of the group to have a car.
Yeah, I was the first of the group.
I don't think I have too many memories of that car.
I think I was 15 when I got my first car, and I'm older than you guys, so
By
I've had
months.
you a couple months.
Well,
and-
I'm a full year.
yeah,
like,
he's
almost.
like a full year. So yeah, I've had a car
Damn,
for
young. Ew.
well, like 2 or 3 years more than Justin has.
And you passed your permit test like the first time, right?
Well, see, this is part of my my bad experience with it. So I learned how to drive with this Civic. My dad bought it for $500. Had a cracked windshield. There was one tire in the rear that was too big for it. So if there was too much weight in the car, you'd get rubbing. And there was just so much wrong with it. And it had 290,000 miles on it or something. I can't remember.
Dang, beat the I-30.
But yeah, it was like it was automatic because at the time I just didn't really care for manual. I just wanted a car, and it had VTEC in it, so I'm glad it did. I didn't know what VTEC was, but it was really fun to drive around town. But anyway, I learned how to drive in this car, but because I was 15, I wasn't really eligible for a license. I think you got to be 16 to be eligible for a license, but you can get a driver's permit if you're under 16. And so I got my learner's permit, and we were in high school, and I drove this car to band, all right, for band practices during the summer. And I think the first day we had rehearsal, I drive to school, everything's fine. I'm driving back, and I'm like freaking out because I'm going down Emma, and Emma is like the main street in Springdale here, and there's like a police headquarters near there. And so the reason I mentioned the police headquarters is there's like a police station there, not headquarters, but
We went to a field trip there.
No, dude.
Whenever we were in the Law Academy.
On Emma?
Or not
not
on Emma,
on
but,
Emma, but it's like
but-
near there.
Yeah.
Oh,
police
the one
station.
by
there's
the
a police-
Arcegas? No, that's the courthouse. No, whatever.
There's
Anyway,
there's a police station up there, all right.
Okay.
And so I'm driving home, and so this stretch, Emma Street's this big long stretch of road that goes pretty much from the high school all the way to the rodeo up here in Northwest Arkansas.
That's my favorite one.
And from there, I just I turn right, and it's like straight shot home. And so I go through Emma Street, and two cops pull out in front of me from like these side streets, and I'm a little nervous because I only have a learner's permit. The plates on my car are not the plates for the car. They're the plates for some other vehicle. I can't remember what vehicle, but we just had them on there so I could drive around. And I had no insurance. So already I didn't have a license. I didn't have valid plates, and I didn't have a valid license. Or no, I already said license. What was I saying? I had no license. Oh yeah, no insurance. I had no insurance. And so these two cops pull out in front of me, and I get a little nervous. And then as I go down the road, two cops pull out from behind me from the side roads and start following me. And so it looks like I'm being like, I don't know, escorted by police, or maybe just like
Targeted.
They're like boxing me in or something. That's what it looked like. And I'm like, I'm like getting nervous. My heart's beating, and I'm only a 15-year-old driving an illegal car, pretty much. And I was scared that they were going to like look up my plates. Like this, I'm like, we're not on a 25-mile-an-hour road, so I'm like pretty sure the cop's there driving, and he's like, oh, let me just look up this kid's plate, and like starts typing in and pulls up a different vehicle. So I was afraid of that. So eventually got to the part where like the road spreads out a bit, and they all kind of scattered, and I was just there like, what?
Maybe they started their shift. Maybe they started their shift.
Yeah, probably. But
clock in.
yeah, I don't know. I was just scared because I just didn't have anything for the car. I wasn't supposed to be driving, basically, and it was like that for another 4 or 5 months before I got my license. So I had to drive around super like cautiously, just so I wouldn't get pulled over and they find out I have no insurance, no tags, and all that. But the fun times I had with the car though, like I said, it had VTEC, so I sped around town a lot, and you guys.
Cause it had VTEC. Yeah.
No, dude, it was fun.
Cause it had VTEC.
It was a slow car. It was a slow car. It was a slow car, but it was still like fun to drive. Because you know that feeling when VTEC kicks in. Justin.
He was zooming around like a goddamn Ferrari in the streets in my red Honda. Got VTEC, boy, go fast.
Go fast. Like the fun times were just driving you guys around and other people. Because like I said, I was the first one to have a car, so I was pretty much the limo driver here, the Uber driver. And, I had no problem with it. It was fun. It was fun driving around.
Why do you do that? I have, like, zero memory of that car at all. Sometimes I forget you even had that car.
There's one I had where, like, the car wouldn't start. There's times when the car wouldn't start. And I remember you coming up and, like, looking at it. And you're like, I don't know what you did to it, but you're like, yeah, try and start it now. And it started.
I don't remember that at all.
Go on with your next car, Justin.
Oh, what next car? Okay, I'm not going to mention the Pontiac because I think it was stupid.
Right.
That was a waste of time. But we're going to mention my Honda lineup, and it started with the the next three cars are going to have the same theme going on here. But this one was a 2001 Honda Civic LX, no VTEC. This thing was so bad. I don't know why we bought it. I just really liked it. I don't know why. It had about 246,000, I don't know, something about 200,000 miles cars that I like. I just like them.
Yeah.
Something about them. I just really like high miles car. Yeah, dude, we picked it up for like $900, I think. And I was like, dude, heck yeah, I got me a Honda. Because I went from a 90 whatever to a 2001. So I thought that was the thing. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was cool.
Great.
I thought that was the thing. But the thing was, I got that car because a really close friend of mine, Hawkson, he had the same one. But he had an EX, right? So his came with VTEC, 0.1 liter larger engine, because I had a 1.5 and he had a 1.6 that had VTEC, I guess. I think. I don't
So you didn't even pay attention to trims. You just saw.
No, I just bought it.
Yeah,
Civic. Yeah, because he had it. And, dude, honestly, I have no good memories with that thing. I'll be very honest with you. No good memories with the thing. I just had straight up bad memories. Well, the good thing was that I was able to figure out how to change a head gasket, and then all the pulleys and the belts and stuff did all that because we had to pull that engine apart like in half like 3 times at least. That's how I was able to get the
water pump.
Yeah, the water pump thing. That's how I was able to figure out how to do that on that car because it was literally the same engine as the 01 that I had. So I learned how to do all that with that thing. Funny enough, after all that was done, about like a week later, all the pressure that built up in between the head gasket and the blocks, I was in Lake Fayetteville smoking the Chronic. I was 18? I'm young. I'm still young. No, but I was getting high, and then dude, I was just sitting in the friggin' parking lot, and it was just just this smoke coming up, and then I smelled coolant. I don't know how I was able to recognize that it was coolant, but it was just. And I was like, yo, my car blew up. Because I was with 2 other people, and then they had already left. Yeah. I was just chilling there. I was like, watching the smoke come up because I was accepting death or something. I was like waiting for a fire to happen. And I was like, oh, I gotta get out. But I didn't see any fire, so I was like, I'll call them up real quick. Yeah, my car blew up. And they both turned around like, what? That's probably the worst memory, but I don't know. That car was. I just have bad memories of that car.
No good memories.
No good memories of that car. It wasn't at all. We bought like a $900 lemon that was still like a lemon somehow. You spend less than $1,000. And it blows up on you. And then what do? You friggin'
throw it away.
I don't even remember what we do. No, we took it for like. Somebody took it for like $400.
Roll it into Lake Fayetteville right there.
Yeah, right? I think somebody took it for like $400.
Yeah, sell for parts probably.
So that's about it. That was the end of that car, man. I missed that car though. Like honestly, it was such a stupid car.
Yeah, I don't remember it at all.
Just like I don't remember my Civic. Yeah, see, you don't remember that car at all because the car is stupid.
How long did you have it?
Dude, I don't even know, man. It was like 4 months.
Best $900 ever spent.
4 months though, man. It blew up, man. I'm kind of sad about that. That didn't last long. I couldn't even make $900 in 4 months. I was working at the restaurant at the time.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I wouldn't need $900 in 4 months, dude. The heck? Kind of what?
My next car was a 2010 Honda Civic Si, and that's whenever I thought I was so cool from everybody or from my friends' wives because I was like, I have the fastest car, I have VTEC.
Yeah, I think at the time you had. I think we all had 2010s at that time, but you're the one that had the SI.
Yeah, you had the Toyota Corolla. This guy had
The base model.
yeah. And so I was like, yeah, I'm the fastest one. And I didn't do anything to the car because it was already modified. And I was like, I know I'm not gonna keep this forever, so I'm just gonna save my money up for a better one. But I mean, I had a lot of VTEC moments. I don't know.
VTEC moments.
You can't say that car wasn't fun. You can't say that car.
No,
wasn't
it was fun.
Yeah,
like
you
compared
can't
to the one
say-
that I have now, I like how the Civic feels because Honda makes good manual transmissions, reliable engines. Yeah.
Transmission.
This transmission.
Or
keeps
I'm
getting
talking about manual
flooded.
transmissions. I don't know about automatics, but
I drive a manual.
He's talking about his own transmission.
oh yeah, huh? I totally forget. Oh, I thought you were talking about the one that you had.
He's like, I thought you just slapped an SI badge.
Yeah. What do you think? That's a fake SI up there?
You slapped a fake Mugen.
Heck yeah, I did. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. I could.
But you didn't have like any specific bad memories or good memories with that car.
No.
Really, I know one I can think of is when I think you and Kevin showed up to work. Justin and Kevin showed up to work when we were still at CNC, and we all like just left. We closed down shop and left work just to go race.
Oh yeah, we raced your 9th gen against mine, and I still won.
Oh no,
It was
a fun
like
time.
during the daytime. Y'all closed like right when y'all opened.
Yeah,
Don't tell 'em about it.
we don't work there anymore, so it's okay. But that's like one of the fun memories I remember having with you.
Yeah, what are they gonna do?
That
Fire
car.
you? Supervisor sleeping on the job. I've been catching you napping on the stairs like all the time.
Right, but yeah, I guess we'll move on since you can't think of anything for that car. My next car was a 2010 Toyota Corolla S.
Oh, it was a 10 thing.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Because it had an S on it, though, I thought it was
A turbo.
a truly- like I said, I didn't know anything about cars.
No, but you told me. I was like, dude, it has a turbo, and I was looking at it. I was
I
like,
remember that too. I was like,
where?
I said, we said.
So I didn't know anything about cars at this point. Still, all I knew, like the VVTi, I mistook for a turbo. So every time the valves just opened up, I mistook that for a turbo. And yeah, I didn't really do much with the car. I remember throwing on an exhaust, and that was because I think Justin had an exhaust, and I was like, huh. He seems pretty cool with a loud exhaust. I kind of want a loud exhaust.
You didn't even get an exhaust. You got like a different muffler.
Yeah. I mean, you did a full straight pipe, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I threw
gross.
on a Borla axle back.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was a fun car. I remember Juan would also valet it too, because when I got it,
Valet.
yeah, remember at the end of school, you would take my keys, go grab my car, and bring it up to the.
Oh yeah, just so I could like drive it.
Yeah, because at the time, I was the one with the newest car, because Juan still had his little S10, and Justin had his. You had the base model Civic at that
I don't
time
even
still.
think I had a car.
No.
Did I have a car at that time? I don't even remember.
No, he didn't.
I don't think I had a car. No, I drove the Tahoe still.
yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, I still
Yeah,
drove the
so
Tahoe.
at that time, it was 2013. So for a 2010 model, it was fairly new, and so everyone's like, "Yo, you have this pretty new car," because it was still in its current gen. I think Toyota came out with the next gen in 2015. So yeah, Juan always asked for the keys so he can drive it up, and he'd always be talking about how smooth the drive was. I remember. That's what I remember. But I don't know. There was a lot of memories made with that car because I drove it in the middle of high school, junior year, all up until I'd say like junior year of college as well.
Car still runs, by the way.
Yeah, this
Car's
car is
still
still in the family, by the way.
Car's still here.
But I believe it's cursed because it's been in so many accidents. And it's never my fault. It's always someone hitting me. Like
Final Destination.
it's so stupid. Like there was one time I was looking at a Challenger because at the time I really wanted a Challenger, and I was like, wow, that's a really nice Challenger. And this was like in the middle of the high traffic. This Challenger ends up like getting behind me and like hits me, rear ends me, and the guy was like, my bad, I was changing the radio station. And I was like, what?
Peace.
But no, my worst memory with that though was it actually happened when I wasn't the owner of the car. My sister drives the car, and I think last year we went to a wedding, and it was me, my sister, my girlfriend Karen, and one of our friends, Joss. We were all in the car.
No.
Yeah, no. I think it was a wedding that we went to, but I drove the Corolla, and on the way back, we were just coming back into Springdale, and we're just at a traffic light, stopped. Everything was all fine. They were jamming out some music. I let them like put on some music, and they had it pretty loud too.
I remember.
But we got rear-ended, and everyone in the car had glasses except Karen, and so everyone's glasses flew off, and because my glasses flew off, like I went into like a kind of panic mode because I just couldn't see what was going on.
The Velma, where are my glasses? Where am I?
So I'm looking for my glasses, and everyone else was just there, and I was like, is everyone else all right? And I'm trying to find my glasses so I can go and like confront the dude, because I was like, I'm just sitting here. This dude
Beat him up.
had time to stop. I'm trying to look for my glasses. Karen's helping me trying to find them, and I finally get them, and I look back, and there's no one behind me. The car took off. Whatever hit us took off, and I think it was a white SUV. I'll get onto that later, but yeah, that actually made me mad because that was the first time someone ever like did a hit and run on me, and I always read about it. I never expected it to happen to me because, like I said, I've been in so many accidents with the Corolla, and every time they gave me their insurance information and helped pay for the damages, but this was the first time that that happened, and I was especially mad because Joss, she was in the back seat, and her head ended up hitting the back of the front seat, and with her glasses on, it kind of just like shoved the glasses in her face into like the bridge of her nose, and it kind of like whipped her back, and that's when her glasses fell off. And so she was kind of feeling a little pain, and I was just like, where'd the guy go? And I asked Karen because she was the only one who could see, and she was like, I don't know. Like, I was hoping you find your glasses. And she points out a random car, and she does this out of like panic, like I think it was that one. And so I just started chasing after it, and I couldn't keep up, and I ended up giving up the loss. And I think I gave up because she said, actually, I don't think it's that car. And I was like, well, what did it look like? Did he get any plates or whatever? And she's like, no, I didn't get anything. It was like dark, the headlights were really bright, so we couldn't see what was behind us. And we ended up going back to like the intersection. There was a gas station there. We parked, and we kind of assessed the damage, checked to see if everyone was all right. No one was bleeding or anything. The only person that was actually kind of hurt was Joss, with glasses being shoved into her face. We filed a police report, and we like asked them like, can you like help us like find out who did this? Like, because there's traffic cameras there, and there's a gas station there, so there should be a camera like pointed, maybe angled toward that intersection. But all the cops said was, there's not much we can do. Well, they looked at the paint, and they're like, there's white paint on here, so we'll look around for a white vehicle with front end damage. But that's about all we can do. And they weren't going to make it a priority because, they had other things to worry about. So, I was kind of upset because just the fact that they like did a hit and run on us, it was a pretty bad like rear end too, because it bent the frame. So our insurance company like dropped us. They're like, we can't do anything else with this. There's been too many accidents.
Why does the wheel still move?
Yeah, like it still runs perfectly and everything. We fix it up, but the insurance company doesn't want anything to do with it because we keep crashing it.
They don't want to even deem it total. They just
Yeah,
we don't
but,
want it no more.
Yeah, I was just so mad from that because I don't know, like I like kept thinking to myself, what if someone got like really hurt and like nothing could be done about it, especially because the cops were like, yeah, we can't do much about it. I was like, what if like, you know, someone did end up getting really hurt, or like, I don't know, I hear about car crashes where people die and it doesn't look like a terrible crash, but you know, it happens. I'm like, what if like, you know, someone had died in that car crash and they just took off and then they're just driving around like, oh, I got away from the accident, not knowing that like someone got really hurt or got killed or something. So, yeah, and this has just happened like last year. And I don't know, I'm always like very cautious when that makes me really cautious now whenever I'm driving. So if I see like someone getting really close to me or coming really fast at a stoplight at an intersection, I like kind of inch forward so I can make space so they don't hit me. And I hate it whenever they start inching forward too, and I'm like, no, stop, I can't. But no, besides that, good memories with that car. I think that's the first car I started traveling with. So I went to Tulsa a few times with that car. I went up to Kansas with that car. I think I've been up to Kansas City with that car. So that's kind of the car that got me into traveling. I don't know. It was also the first car I really felt free, because I remember after school, I'd just drive around Northwest Arkansas just because I could. The thing was fuel efficient, so I was able to waste all that gas. And I just that's when I started my coffee shop thing, because I'd start going to coffee shops. I'd drive around, stop at one, grab a coffee, and I just drove around and listened to music. I don't know, it was a really fun car to just cruise around town in. Really easy to drive. Yeah.
This guy looks bored out of his mind.
He's like
I'm really hungry.
Oh, he's thinking about food.
Yeah, I'm thinking about food.
Sorry.
I'm just listening. Yeah, it's a podcast. You want me to talk over him?
You're
you're
next
just
with
like
your 2010 base model Civic.
Yes, it's a base model. Thank you. Anyway, continuing on with
Just
the theme.
keep emphasizing that too. Every time you talk about it.
Along with the theme that we were running with the Honda Civics, I bought another Honda Civic. It was a 2010 base model 4-door, and that car was actually one of the first cars, actually the only first car, the very first car that I was able to modify by myself. That was when I got into the car scene, the whole Ricer and Dicer scene or whatever, you know, go fast, manifold danger, you know, whatever. I mean, Fast and Furious is beyond my generation. You know, my brothers always talk about the very first movies. You know, remember with the three black Civics lined up with that freight truck. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother's time. That's way before me. But I recently just gotten into that scene with that car, and I was like, dude, Honda Civic, lots of fake badges. So that's what I did. I did that, and that car was amazing to me because the car was really ugly, straight pipe. It had an N1 muffler. It had a stupid wing, just a really big wing like yours. It was so dumb, man. I love that car so much, though.
You even bought the SI badges.
I didn't buy the SI badges. I
Oh,
bought
no, you
the
bought
SI
the sticker.
wheels.
No, you bought the sticker too. Well, but it said single overhead
Yeah,
cam. But
yeah. So that was a fake sticker already. Yeah. I mean, it was accurate, but it wasn't a real sticker, obviously. Nothing about that car was, like, real at all.
You announced to the world, yes, I have a single overhead cam
Yeah.
Civic.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to say? Double overhead cam and live? The sticker thing was an accessory, and I thought it was cool. At the time, at least. Yeah, that was the first car I was able to modify myself, and there was nothing I really had to do mechanically to it because, well, until I started driving it. Because the car was like running pretty fine. That car had low miles. It was like 70,000, I think, when I first bought it.
Yeah.
And oh man, that car ran so good until I started messing with it, and then the car just started messing, like just
you
dying.
threw on
slowly.
your own tune.
Yeah, I bought a really cheap Flash Pro thing for that thing. It was cheaper at the time for some reason. I don't know why. It's like $700 now, but yeah, I bought this weird tune, and then for that, no, I just bought the Flash Pro and then did the same thing I did with this car that I have now, and I'll talk about that in a little later. I did that, and then I bought SI wheels, the stock SI wheels for that. It was like the 8.5 or 8 2.0 or whatever. You know, the one where they had the. Actually, no, they all had the same wheels, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they all had the HNs all had the same wheels. Anyway, I bought those wheels, and I put that on there.
You plastic dipped them black.
Yeah, plastic dipped in black, and then the center caps were black with accented reds with H.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was freaking like the bomb. That was actually looked pretty cool. I'd still do that if I had that car. I don't even care. That look was nice. That was a mint like freaking touch up I did there. Yeah, and then I just started messing with it a lot more, and then the good memories was just that, and then the bad memories started rolling in when I actually just started driving around with all the stupid crap that I put on there. It was ridiculous because, like, I think one time we went to the casino, and the fender liner was like, right off the freaking thing, and that's where everything just started going downhill after that because, like, the engine was lugging so bad. I don't know why. I think it was just because I was messing with it too much.
I think I remember you saying your car wouldn't start one time.
Yeah, I braked it one time because the fuel pump wouldn't prime, so I was like, there goes that. So I mean, no fuel, no start, no ignition, no start. That happened. Fixed that. The fender liner thing, I never fixed that. I kind of just sold the car like that, and then the wheel. I mean, I put bigger wheels on there to accommodate for the SI wheels. Mm-hmm. So I put bigger tires on it. That didn't do very good with the fender. That was the whole reason why the fender liner did that. That was it for that, really. The car just started going down mechanically. It was a bad time after that. And then I sold the car for somehow $6,000.
No, you didn't sell it. You traded it, didn't you?
Yeah, it was sold for like $6,000.
He sold it. The dude drives it around still, I think.
Yeah, he's
They
still in
have
Benville. He still has my sticker. Oh, I put my Instagram handle on the rear window sill thing.
The little quarter panel thing.
Yeah, the quarter panel on the back seats. And the guy still drives around it because I got a DM like not too long ago, actually. Like way after I sold the car. And it's like this kid in like Hinesville or something. He's like a 6th grade kid with Instagram for some reason. Weird kid. He was like nice Mugen. And I was like, I had to look at my car for a second. I was like, hold on a minute. That car is, yeah, the guy still, whoever it is still driving around my car. My brother said he's seen her once. Supposedly it's a female driver. I don't know the whereabouts of that because I saw my car once at the Pinnacle Mall in the Rogers.
Mm-hmm. I remember seeing it there.
And no, I never saw it again. They took off my my tow hook, which was really sad. I really wish I took that with me before I sold the car. They took that off.
You could buy one off of eBay for like $20.
No, but I just wanted the tow hook back. Like, dang it, my dad bought me that. Oh. It was like a cool gift.
That's funny.
But that was it for that. I miss that car every day.
Dang. And I remember at this point too, we were still driving automatic transmissions as well, except Juan. I think.
Yeah.
You get the.
Yeah.
I don't remember when you got the 2010 SI,
Yes,
but he's been driving manual since like day one almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we raced. we raced your Civic and my.
Oh,
Corolla.
the Corolla, and we were just like.
We were like right next to each other, and yeah, I think I won by like a few inches or something.
I don't even remember, dude. All I remember was really loud. It's like two trash cans, just like.
Yeah, we're just like, we got some bolt-ons. Let's see who's faster. And
Oh my god! Now that I think about that, I'm like cringing out of my pants right now. Oh my god! But that was so much fun at the time, though, because I didn't have to worry about like literally anything, because all I had to do was just pay for that car. That was it. That was it.
Oh man, that was fun. All right, what about you, Juan? I think you only owned 3 cars in your lifetime.
Yeah, after I sold, or I didn't sell. Wait, no, I did sell it to my little brother.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you did that. The kid that bought it still like does pulls on our street.
Does he?
And the dang thing still rickets around whenever I can hear that. You know, when you drop the fucking clutch, and then you can see him whenever he switches gears. It's like, just like, dude, no, stop doing pulls in my neighborhood now.
No, but after I didn't even own that car for like maybe a year or maybe less than a year.
The
No,
Civic?
you had it for a while.
For a while.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you had it for a while, dude.
No.
Had it long enough to like start teaching everyone how to drive manual.
'Cause-
Trying to convert people.
Because I bought my 2010 Civic after you, and then I sold that same Civic before you bought the
really?
Mustang. Yeah, way before.
yeah, 'cause-
yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, so I did have it like over a year then.
Yeah.
He's trying to forget it. He's trying to wipe it out. of his
Forget
memory.
about that.
No, but I liked it. I
Never
mean,
had a Honda.
the Honda. I mean, I did
No.
the
Mustang.
inside lights that goes with the music that would change colors.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I'll change the.
Didn't I buy you that?
Huh?
Didn't I buy you that?
Yeah, you bought me that.
I think I wanted to
from
buy that.
AutoZone.
Yeah, I wanted to buy that for my own car. and then yours broke, and I was like, oh, never mind.
But after I sold it to my little brother, I ended up getting a 2015 Mustang GT. I drove all the way to Dallas. No, not Dallas. Grapevine.
Grapevine, Texas.
Grapevine. And I went to go check it out because it was like the cheapest V8 I saw
Mhm.
on Auto Trader.
Now, you did want the previous gen Mustang, right? You didn't want the whole catfish one.
Yeah.
You wanted the one before.
Yeah, I wanted the one before.
Yeah.
I think he was also looking for what was that one blue color that he was looking for?
Oh, that's right.
Grabber Blue.
Yeah.
Grabber blue.
Yeah.
I remember that. He
Yeah.
has a specific like
I wanted a
requirements.
Pacific color, a Pacific year, but then I saw this one. I was like,
And you came back
What?
with none of those.
yeah, I came back with that.
Came back with a Mustang.
I got the
Was
newest
it
generation.
White Camaro SS as well.
Oh yeah, but those are hella expensive.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna whip out the phone with like the tab still like for sale. I was like, what? It's still for sale. Let me get that.
But I just found this one on Auto Trader because I was like, it's a V8. The inside looks very nice. Manual transmissions. I was like,
performance pack as well.
yeah. The what?
You had the performance
Oh,
pack
okay.
as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. I didn't even know about that. I just thought like it has nice
Oh.
wheels.
Just
I
found
want
out
it.
when you got
Yeah.
it.
Black wheels.
And so I went all the way to Grapevine, Texas, to go get it.
Mhm.
And after, or on the way back, 2 hours in, 2 hours in,
I
You
remember
were-
back
this.
home.
I remember this.
You called me on your way back home.
Did I?
Yeah.
No.
You got pulled over.
Yeah. I
You said be at my house at this time so you guys can check it out, and then you were like, "Hold on, I got pulled over by the cops." It's
yeah,
gonna be a
yeah. I
while."
got pulled over, man. I was like, cause I'm not used to like driving like more than 5 hours.
Uh-huh.
So I drove from here to Texas for 5 hours, and then on the way back for 5 hours. But
You called me asking for advice like I'm some kind of experienced felon.
well, it's
You were like, dude, what do I do? I was
Well,
like,
it's
what do you mean? I don't know.
you paid attention in law cat whenever
No,
we
I
were in the
didn't.
law
I just
academy.
got a bunch of trouble. I
I
was
didn't pay
younger.
attention to that class,
I
but
didn't either.
yeah,
That's right. We both went to the law academy.
I got pulled over for going 86 on a 70, and I was just trying to catch up to my parents because they were like so far ahead of me, and I'm over here like dozing off. So I was just
Speeding
catching up.
and falling asleep.
That was me on the way back of the track both times.
You never speed when you're just falling asleep though. You're like going.
No, I always
60 or
I always catch myself like trying to catch up to you, but then I'm just like,
And yeah, that was the first time I ever got pulled over.
in that car 2 hours after you bought it.
Yeah, 2 hours after I bought it.
yeah, no insurance.
Oh yeah, the police officer was like, "Why don't you have insurance?" And I was like, "Cause I just bought the car." And and I gave him he said, "Why doesn't?" Or it was in Oklahoma, and the guy's like, "Does Texas not require you to have insurance?" And I was like, "No, they do." And then I gave him my license. He's like, "Oh, Arkansas. Does Arkansas not let you?" Or it's not a. I can't even speak.
Common.
They don't let you, or it's not required to have license or
insurance.
insurance. Oh, you see, I can't talk. But I was like, no, they do. But I just bought the car, and he's like, all right, I'll be right
I
back.
gotta
And he
go
comes
take it
in.
to my agent to get insured.
Yeah, and he just came and gave me a ticket. So yeah,
He gave you a ticket.
yeah. He gave
I
me a
mean,
ticket.
yeah, you were speeding. But dang, was that like your bad memory with it? Or?
Yeah, that was my bad memory.
Oh,
no,
that
wait.
first 2 hours he had it.
No, the worst one was whenever you and I went driving down the back roads.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. How
And-
is that a worst memory? You pulled it off so good.
Yeah, but
You
we
lived, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, but
Car still runs.
um,
The problem
It
is,
was like after a rainy day, so the roads were still wet,
Uh-huh.
and I was on a one-way street. And no, wait, not one-way street.
It was like a 2-lane road.
Yeah, 2-lane road. And
Yeah, we're initial D'ing in like Hobbs or whatever.
yeah, this guy was in front of me, and he starts passing this one car, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do the same. And so I do, and I kind of like floor it, but I was like in third gear, so I wasn't expecting a lot of like a lot of power. And next thing you know, my back starts swerving, and I'm over here like, oh no, oh no. And I remember that in school they told me not to let go of the gas completely.
They taught you this in school?
Or they taught me like whenever you like lose control, don't let off the gas and start braking, because
Yeah.
you're gonna end up in the ditch. So I just like let off a little bit, and I was like trying to control it, and
Yes.
all I see is doing this,
Yeah.
and then I was able to control it. I don't know how.
He went full Ken Block.
And
Drift. Stang.
after I straightened out, I called Justin. I was like, dude, pull over. I'm over here shaking.
Oh, from my perspective of that, we actually just hit a corner. I hit that corner pretty hard, actually, and I'm pretty sure I was a pretty good length ahead of you. And then I heard, and I see your like the back of your car come out first, and I was like, yo! I saw it on the rear mirror when I heard the screeching. I saw like your tail lights first. I was like, yo! And then when you kept going, I was like, dude, he just fucking like killed that. And then he's calling me like, dude, pull over. I'm like, what?
Well, yeah, we pulled over, and I go out, and I'm all shaking, and this guy's over here recording.
Yeah, I'm gonna still story
And
about
I
that.
told him, I was like, dude, can you drive my car back? And he's like, hell no, I'm not gonna get in that car.
Death trap, dude.
Yeah, so then after that, I kind of understand the memes now from Mustangs, like, or Mustang owners not knowing how to drive, because
You were still fairly new to
yeah, I
it,
was
too.
still fairly new to it. So, yeah, that was the worst.
I just realized you have 2 more cars to talk about.
Oh, yeah, I've owned quite a bit.
Oh
You
yeah,
have a lot more cars than us. Like, I only got 1 left.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
it
running
seems
out of
like I've been
content.
buying a car, like, every year. That's what it looks like. That's what Karen has been telling me.
so you're gonna get another one?
Huh?
So you're gonna get another one soon?
I've been looking. You guys know that. I've been looking for another car.
He's
No,
looking for
but-
another car, not to sell the WRX. So.
Yeah, so...
Sorry, spoilers. He has a WRX.
Yeah,
As
no, my
if
next
you didn't
car
know.
was a
It's on the website.
2006 Mazda MX-5 Miata. And, so,
You love that car too much.
first of all,
That was a cool car.
the only reason I bought this car, well, one of the reasons was because I wanted to learn how to drive stick. You kept like pressuring us into learning to drive stick, and I thought it might be a cool skill because I was looking at Challengers, and I was like, man, the cooler Challengers are all manual.
Are they?
Ooh, and I still haven't
like
had the SI yet.
Scat Pack and all that. And
Yeah, I still didn't have the SI till then.
yeah, you didn't have it.
No, oh my god. Ew.
But yeah, I was looking at Challengers and a bunch of other cars that came in manual transmission. I was like, wow, like all the cool cars that I want come in manual transmission. And so I was just like, let me get something cheap so I can like learn how to drive stick, and then I'll just sell it to get something like the Challenger. And I remember I was having breakfast with actually before I mentioned the day of, I was going through a pretty rough patch in my relationship. And so one thing I tend to do is buy things that I don't need. And I guess I was so depressed at this time that I decided to buy a whole new car. And yeah, it happened to be the Miata. And I was out having breakfast one day with my family, and I was looking through cars, and I see Miata. And it was across the street from where we were eating. So after breakfast, I was like, hey, can we go check it out? And so we go, and I think it was on a Sunday, so surprisingly, the dealer was there.
Yeah.
And, yeah, the guy he let my dad test drive it because I couldn't drive. And so I didn't even know what the car felt like because my dad was the one driving it, and then the dealer guy was, like, with him, and there's only 2 seats, so, otherwise I'd, like, sit in the trunk or something. And
Top down and hang on, buddy.
Yeah. So they drive it, and I think they test drove it top down as well too. The guy was like, "You gotta drive it top down," and so
That's why I
drive
like
it
the
around. My dad's like, "I like it," and so we buy it, and he has to drive it home because of course I can't. And yeah, I still had the Corolla. I was driving on the Corolla, and at that point, I just kind of passed it on to my sister. But I remember Juan was the first one who came to see it. He drove it around.
No, he was there too. Because then we went to the park to go.
No.
No, you
Yeah.
came. You were the
No.
one because you drove it before I even drove the car.
Yeah, because we were gonna go to the park, right?
No.
And that's-
You drove it around.
No,
just-
you drove it
No, I
around.
just rode around.
We
Yeah.
we didn't go to the park till like a week later because I was like doing something.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he was busy, so you just came to check it out, and I think you still had the SI.
Mm.
Yeah, you still had the SI. So yeah, you came, drove it around before I could even drive my own car that I purchased, and yeah, no, it was a fun car. Yeah, one of my favorite memories was just I guess just learning how to drive stick because it was really enjoyable. There was many times I went with you guys to the park and just a lot, just driving around. And you guys just really hyped me up on that, especially when I would get a smooth rolling start. Just like cheer me on.
It was more just me screaming.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like
It was
how
like-
to learn
It was
stick.
cheering,
Let's
but
go,
also
let's
screaming.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like the hype man in the back. There's this one time though, I was like behind you when you were driving and you stalled.
Oh yeah.
And I had to be like the angry old lady.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
I mean, that was a fun time actually. I don't know. It was really fun, the whole learning process. So yeah, at one point I was trying to take it on the big roads. I was like, I'm ready for the main road. So I drive it. I'm at a stoplight and I'm like, okay, I got this. I stall as soon as the light turns green, and then Justin's behind me and gets out and starts yelling at me.
Hurry up!
There's like cars passing by, looking at us in shock, like, what
Get ready
is this
for like
man
a
doing?
Fight, yeah.
Getting ready to watch a fight go down.
Yeah, and I also made a video on my personal channel where I'm like driving around the Miata.
You don't
in
have to
his
scroll.
neighborhood.
You don't have to scroll too far down for that one. That's like that's not that far.
Yeah, I might link that video. But yeah, I'm driving around in it. I stall a few times, I think. I can't remember. But yeah, it was a fun learning process. It was just a really enjoyable car to drive. And as soon as I got the hang of it, I started, just whipping turns and just, I don't know, having fun with the car. And I remember Justin would also like ask to drive
I
the car a
want
lot.
top down.
Yeah,
I
that's
wanted it top down
for
a
top
lot,
down.
and
Yeah,
to drive it.
That's the best part.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then
It's convertible.
just my bad memory with it was is the reason I sold it. It was wintertime here. I think it was like December this past year, so about a year ago. I'm a delivery driver. I'm a pizza delivery driver, and so I was using it for deliveries. And when it snows, pizza places are like, you still gotta show up to work. People out there
You want pizza?
Stay
wanting
hungry.
pizzas. Yeah. And some people will make the trek to get to the pizza place. Some we're just gonna, let's hope the driver gets here and like survives. And let's see. So I remember one day I was like, I don't know if I can make it because my car is not meant for the snow. And so my manager's like, just try and get here. And
Yeah.
and then my supervisor, I have a supervisor who needs a ride to work like all the time because his brother crashed his car and blew it up or something like that. And his brother's been like ruining his life, and so he like he got kicked out of his own house or something like that. Not kicked out. Oh, he chose to leave the house or the apartment. Has found out his like brother was like involved in some like gang thing, and he was like, I don't want no part of this, and he just left. And so but I would drive him, and he was like, hey, can I get a ride to work? And I was like, I'll try and get there. And so this took me a whole hour to get to work that day. There was a lot of snow, and it took me a whole hour to just drive from like this area. It's a 5-minute drive to work, by the way, and it took me an hour because I had to go pick up my supervisor who didn't live too far. Barely made it to his apartment. I get there, I'm like, dude, I barely made it here. Like, is it still all right to go to work or whatever? And he's like, yeah, let's try and make it. And I'm like, ugh. And so I'm like hoping like, my supervisor or my manager like be like, yeah, no, it's too dangerous. Go home or something.
No, you could have just been like, no, I'm not risking it.
I needed money, man. And so I'm driving, and there's like this big hill, and I'm like, can I make it up the hill? Because my fear, like with snow and ice, is like going up a hill, I'm gonna start sliding back down. And surprisingly, I make it up this big hill, but it was going down this hill that I was going too fast, and I start like swerving. And my supervisors are like, whoa, what are you doing? And I was like, there's ice. And
This is why I didn't want to go to
yeah,
work.
and so I'm just swerving, and I'm going downhill. I'm like freaking out because we're getting to an intersection, and this intersection is like connected to a busy street. And I mean, it wasn't too busy because of the snow, but there's still a fair amount of people out. and you know, I'm trying to stop the car. I don't even remember what I was doing to try and stop it, but somehow I like maintained traction, and like I stopped right at the intersection, and then the light turned green like a second later, and I'm like, jeez. And yeah, I get to work, and I'm like, it's dangerous out there, man. I'm not delivering. So I was at work. No one ever came in.
Nice.
No one ever came in, and I don't remember if we got any deliveries, but I think he shut them off. So like, you can't place a delivery. Yeah, that was the only reason that I sold the car, and I really regret selling it because it was such a fun car. Because I found out like a couple months after selling it, I got another part-time job, and it helped me make enough money, and then I realized I could have afforded to keep the WRX and the Miata.
I told him not to sell it.
Yeah, it was a sad time for all of us, especially me.
The car was very special to us, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
That was a really special car to us.
He loved that car more than his girlfriend.
I don't know.
You're thinking about it, so it's true.
I don't know.
Well, we did a lot to that car.
Yeah, we did.
Victor and I. We have some pictures up on our well,
There's a lot of pictures on my Instagram,
yeah, you want to
actually, of the
check that
Miata.
out.
And
check
I even
out
have like a
the show
little
notes.
highlight thing on there too, because I really love that car. It was fun. And I kind of really want to buy another one again, but I don't know. Winter's coming, and I don't want to deal with that whole thing again. But I do have the WRX for the winter in case I need to drive it. So let's see. Your next car was the
My now car.
Yeah.
This is the 2015 Honda Civic SI. Now I still have this car, so we'll just go up to recent dates of what the best memories of where that were. But I'll start with the bad. The bad was pretty much everything going on, right? Or not now, but like a couple months prior, whenever I had all those crazy issues when we were going to the Crystal Airport.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this.
We were driving on some gravel, and now take note. I think I was missing a fender liner at that, or it was like a fender liner was like half of it on there or something like that. I can't
It
remember,
was
but
like shredded up pretty much.
yeah, it was pretty bad because I lowered the car and I don't know what I'm doing. Anyways, yeah, that was going on, and we drove on gravel. Now I think my car was low at the time, right? Yeah, I had coilovers on at the time, and no, I still have coilovers on. I don't know what. And we were driving through gravel because one, we don't know anything about Gravit. I think that's what it was. We were going to Gravit, the Crystal Airport.
Was it like Decatur?
Decatur, yeah, Decatur.
Decatur,
We went to
Arkansas.
Decatur, and we had no idea what was going on over there. We don't know anything. We were just scared. So
We're just following the GPS.
yeah, we were just following GPS. I was scared because I don't know where I'm at. But we followed GPS and took on this like gravel road, and then we detoured off into like another gravel road that went to another road, and like we don't know where we were. Wait, let's be honest, we didn't know where. I didn't know where we were. And that I think right when we hit the entrance of where the airport was supposed to be, I got like all my lights just turned on. I'm talking like I got no vehicle stability control, no traction control. For some reason, hill start wouldn't work. I didn't even know I had hill start until the freaking code came up, and then my check engine light came on, and then my check headlight came on, check blinker fluid came on. You know, dude, I had everything coming on. That freaked me out because everything just came on at the same time, and I months on end till like. Probably not too long. Maybe like 2 months ago, I just got that fixed. Mm-hmm. And what it was a wheel speed sensor. I didn't know what that was at the time. Apparently, they got. But here's the thing about cars now: you just got a bunch of sensors everywhere. So if one thing's exposed, it's just some sensor's gonna get messed up. Yeah. That's just how it is now. But no, that I drove with all the lights on for the longest time, and it wasn't like it was the worst thing in the world or anything because I still drove it, and the car like felt funny, but I was still driving that thing. I was whipping that thing around. We still taking like back roads. I had like, I mean, I took that car everywhere with like messed up stuff, man. I had the lights on. I took that thing back road into like Devil's Den Road with like a flat tire, and then I went to the track with a flat tire, and I went to this one with like a patch tire. Dude, this car is a champ, man. That's what I like about this car a lot. Is that all the stupid stuff that I put it through, it still runs pretty good. And then now I have a tune in it, which surprisingly still runs pretty good. I think I'm just learning a little bit more here and there. That's why the car hasn't run so rich that the engine just won't start anymore. It's pretty good. I think right now the good memories are still going on. You know, there's no like best or anything like that. Nothing really crazy happened. I think it's just like just the integrity, like the mechanical integrity of it. It just kind of keeps it alive.
Surviving.
Yeah, it's kind of keeping everything alive. I mean, I went to places with that car too. I didn't go. It's not like I went very far, but surprisingly, if that car the way it is now, you know, low,
Yeah.
lower than standard, and
Still
then
drivable
all
in
the
many places.
yeah, that car just holds up, man. And something about that car is just ridiculously like strong. I don't know what it is. The motor's strong.
Honda.
It's just
The Honda reliability.
there was this one time we were driving in high waters whenever when I had the coilovers, and I was in the group chat with these two about it. And I was freaking out at like 4 a.m. And I was like, dude, my car won't go into gear. I turned it on my car in gear, and it's like, and then the car dies. I'm just like, I don't know what this is. No, but I drove in high waters, and the thing about being in a low car in high waters is you can't do much of anything, really. You better hope that you're in like a low gear and just go right through. Hope your car doesn't like blow up or something in like high revs, you know, just cruising around in high revs. And no, the pretty much just my clutch just seized up because I had to shift while there was water like coming up in the bell housing. And it was a bad time. I freaked out so bad during that time. Actually, what I found out a little bit later was when I did the clutch bleed.
Yeah.
That actually wasn't the fix for it. Actually, I actually broke free from it by giving it some time. It just happened to be like right when I finished the clutch bleed that it was enough time for the clutch to unseize itself. I guess because it was warm enough to like kind of remove whatever. Was keeping it there, and yeah, no. Right when I was able to go to first gear, I was like, I was rolling through the gears to make sure nothing else was stuck. And no, that's probably like, I wouldn't say that was bad. It was a pretty good learning experience now that I know that I can't drive my car and stuff like that. But we had a tornado thing and a flood thing going on the past month, and my car still friggin' moves, so we're good. This is the only car I have right now, so. No, I'll talk about it later. But that's it for that. We're still going on with the good memories in this car, and you're going to see it more on our YouTube channel.
Yep. All right. Juan's out of cars because he's only owned 3.
You want to talk about the Honda Accord? That was cool.
Accord.
Yeah, the red one.
This is mom's car.
Yeah.
That's my mom's car.
Yeah, that's a cool car. All right, whatever.
It's because I crashed it.
I don't know what you're talking
Crashed
about.
Or I was falling asleep and.
So I don't think the microphone can hear you. Say that louder.
Yeah, you gotta be up to the mic.
Say it.
I was falling asleep whenever I took my brother
You hear that,
to
Juan's mom?
some eye doctor. And I was coming to an intersection, and the last thing I remember was like I was braking, but at the same time I was like this, or I was like falling asleep. And next thing you know, I bumped into somebody, and I just like woke up like that, and I just like stick out my head. I was like, I'll pay for everything. I just runs away. Or I apologize, but I was still like, I'll pay for all the damages. And
That's just driving away.
no, I wasn't driving away. We just pulled into the gas station, and they called the police just to make sure. And the cop comes, and like there was no damage on her vehicle, only on mine. But it was just like a small dent. Like it wasn't that big of a deal.
Okay.
But the lady's all like, as long as he's okay with leaving with that dent, then we shouldn't file a police report. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay with it. And so, and my parents are also coming too because I called them. I was like, Mom, I got into an accident.
Wait, so this you were just borrowing your mom's car?
Yeah.
And you got into a little fender bender, all right.
I didn't actually mean to talk about that car. I was just kidding.
Oh.
I didn't know we were doing that.
It's a fun little story, though. You know, I think I only have 2 other cars after the Miata. I have the WRX, which
That thing has
again,
given you so many problems.
Actually, just recently it has been.
well, like
Just
it's because he's been touching it.
I bought it in January. I bought it in January.
Got him.
And the only reason I bought it was because I wanted all-wheel drive for the winter. Because after that Miata experience, I was
He's
like,
getting a new girlfriend.
no. Yeah, there's like a whole joke thing going on about how like,
It's
and it
gonna blow
like lines up too. But like every time I got a new car, I had a new girlfriend.
It's not a coincidence, man. It's just life. How it
Except
is.
I never got a new girlfriend after I got the WRX. So
Now you just got another one.
no. But yeah, I bought the WRX, and I got it pretty cheap for what it was. Not like insanely cheap, but it was
Over 20 grand cheap.
Sorry, what?
22 grand for a 2017 WRX Premium.
With more miles than my car?
Yeah, it had like at the time it had 37,000 miles, and other WRX Premiums or base models. There's a lot of base models for sale in the area that were selling for 25 grand. And so seeing the Premium for 22, I was like, all right, I'm getting a little bit more amenities out of it. And I don't know, I'm getting it for 3,000 less than I would pay for a base model.
I forget Subarus around here sell for like
Yeah, Subarus here are overpriced. So
expensive.
I'd say I bought it cheap, but I think I bought it for like fair market value. But yeah, I bought the WRX in January, and then I kind of stopped driving it because I had I had a lot of fun driving it, and I started modifying it, and
That's when
I
things
ended
started
up
going.
putting lowering springs on the car, and I was like, yeah, I started scraping on people's driveways when I was delivering.
We do have a video of that, by the way. That video is rendered. I just haven't uploaded it.
What video?
The lowering spring video.
Oh.
Yeah, I did finish editing that. I just never uploaded it. I mean, if you want to see it.
Yeah, so
put it up there. I'm just
yeah,
gonna steal the
we
Wi-Fi
put
again.
lowering springs on it. It became too stiff and too low for delivery.
Too
driving.
low, man. You just dropped it an inch.
Oh, here in Fayetteville, driveways are freaking steep. They're
Yeah, my car's not even that
terrible.
low.
There's
honestly.
dips and just
Sucks
steep
here.
roads everywhere, and I had to go at like extreme angle. This garage, I always scrape coming out, no matter how slow and how angled they come out.
I almost lost my other fender liner coming out the Frisco garage, and my car's not even that low.
Yeah, so because of that, I ended up buying the Civic, 1995 Civic LX. This one's actually manual transmission.
This is
No
very
VTEC,
special to
however.
us. This is
Yes.
very special to us.
It's a very fun car to drive. The shifter is pretty smooth, and I don't know. I just kind of
ridiculously fun.
yeah, it's really slow, but I punish it on the roads whenever I go on deliveries. I'm surprised it's still keeping up. The only thing that's been needing replaced is the water pump, and
Everything.
muffler needs to be replaced. And we bought a muffler, we just never installed it. We
No,
tried
I-
fixing it with flex tape. We have a video about that.
Link in the show notes.
Yeah, link in show notes and link in the description. But let's see, bad memories with the WRX. Not a lot, really. I think only one was someone's calling me. Shut up. But
Damn, okay.
yeah, this happened recently. I think last month when we were going to the track. I was in a hurry and I didn't tighten down the ground to the ECM in my car. So when we were driving up to Missouri to go to the drag strip, traffic slowed down at one point that we had to brake real hard, and with that, when I braked, all my lights came on just like Justin's.
Yeah.
And
Man, that day was not worth going. I'll be honest with you.
All the trouble we had to go through, and then the ridiculously long drive back.
yeah, it
That day was not worth it.
it wasn't fun at all. We had to
They
pull into like a
suck.
CVS, and we were looking at it, and we're like, is it the battery? Like, we didn't know it was the ECM, so we thought it was the battery. We didn't have any tools with us because of weight reduction.
so Victor goes.
Yeah, we go to Lowe's. I was like, Justin, drive to Lowe's. It's down the street. We go, we run in, we grab a wrench that was like
$6?
$6. Yeah, $6 for a 10 millimeter wrench,
$6.
just so I can unplug the battery.
You sure you just bought the whole kit? Or like,
No.
No, that would have been like $100.
Yeah, no, we're just trying to get what we needed, and so we go grab
we
it.
thought we needed.
And then I also do like a ECU scan, or just to see if there was any codes. And a code popped up, and I didn't know what it was, and I don't think Justin knew what it was either.
No.
But yeah, it had to do with the ECM. And yeah, later on, I found out. Well, we drove it for a little bit. The lights started going away, and all the functionality started coming back. And when we get back home, I like take a closer look at it, and I realized the ground wire is just wiggling around and not completely ground when it's supposed to be. And so now it's fixed. But yeah, that was just a really bad time for us. And we were like 2-3 hours late to the drive.
Oh yeah, we were. Not only were we late, But again, the day entirely just was not worth it.
We also had some pretty bad runs.
Oh man.
We had really high expectations, and we went in.
Well, no, he did.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting. I was kind of just going, but I got my better times out of that one. I'm not gonna lie. I shaved off at like a whole second, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, and then good memory with the WRX. When we went to Devil's Den, I still like think about that, and I really want to go back. We went like one time at night, and
We're not going back.
I ended up losing these guys on the way there,
We're not going
and
back.
I saw an exit for Devil's Den, but it was the wrong exit, and so I'm trying to catch up to them.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
And they ended up calling me. They're like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm on my way to Devil's Den. I took the exit like back here." And they're like, "No, we just took the exit." And I was like, "What?" And
Yeah, we ended up doing this thing.
yeah. So I ended up going into the other side of the road, and I ended up passing them. Yeah, I was just having fun with it. Karen was with me in the car, and the whole time she couldn't breathe. She couldn't speak because she was terrified of all the corners.
The noise.
Yeah, I had the because the car was all-wheel drive. I was like, this thing should be pretty fun around corners then. And so I just started just flooring it and whipping corners, and my girlfriend's just terrified for her life. And I ended up passing these guys. Surprised I didn't hit them. And met up with them. We started running around, and yeah, it was a fun time. I really enjoyed that.
I just realized something. Thinking about all the times we do runs and then go to the track, I always go when something is wrong. With the car, I went with a punctured tire the first time I went to the track. I went with really crap brakes when we went to Devil's Den both times. The Hobbs thing was, we didn't even go that fast in Hobbs. Recently in the track, what was wrong with that time?
You still had a flat tire, no? Or a punctured tire?
Yeah. I still
And
had a
then
flat.
You were
Yeah.
running rich when you got there.
Oh yeah, and I ran 15.4. Let's go.
Yeah, and then let's see. We'll wrap up the stories here. So with the Civic, only bad experience I had was when my car started overheating in the middle of a delivery, and I didn't know how to get back to work, and we had to cancel like 3 deliveries, and some people were upset, and because of that, those people got free pizzas, and my manager wasn't too happy about that. But yeah, I let the car cool down, drove it back to work, and then the rest of my shift, I let it cool down, drove it to work, or drove it home, attempted to, and I had to stop multiple times on the way to let it cool down so it wouldn't overheat. And thankfully Justin was able to get the water pump replaced, because that's what we found out what the situation was. And I had a bunch of school stuff to take care of, so I didn't have time to do it.
And today, this car still runs.
Yep.
Still does pizza deliveries.
Still runs like a
Peter
champ.
Parker.
Need to bleed the clutch a lot, though.
Spider-Man. Yeah, you got stuck one time. You had to walk home. Right?
Yeah. And then, the good times are just, I think when we first bought it, we were just initial D'ing everywhere.
Oh, man, that car is like something, man. You got 2 horsepower under the hood.
Yeah,
Maybe
we have
3
I
on
think
a cold
there's a
day.
bunch of videos on my highlight on Instagram too of the Civic, because I made its own highlight because it's just that fun to drive.
That car's ridiculously stupid fun.
And then sometimes I take the GoPro out on deliveries, especially for deliveries that are a little bit out of town, because I end up going on the back roads for those, and it's just really fun driving around, hoping to get some good footage.
Pizza flying all over the place.
Yeah, that does it for our story. So let's see. We got a little bit of time to cover a little bit, just a few stories from news stories from recent. So let's talk about Chevy's 450 horsepower E10 pickup concept. So if you guys look up at the screen, we got what looks like a Chevy C10. It's a 1962 Chevy C10 pickup truck, and it's renamed the E10 because it's electric. And it's making about 450 horsepower from 2 Chevy Performance E-Crate motors and 2 400-volt batteries.
Is there a reason why it's stance life?
It's a hot rod, man.
Because Tesla's not like that.
No, this is Chevy's like electric hot rod.
Are you
so
sure
they're
this is
trying
not
to
their like?
give it that hot rod look, because they know there's quite a bit of a crowd out there that modify C10s. Like Juan had a professor in NTI that has a C10 that's modified, and I don't know. It just looks really clean. Last time I saw it, at
You
the show,
can't tell
right?
me this thing isn't like living some San Andreas life right here, dude. You can go to a hydraulic. Remember the hydraulic mission? You going with this thing, dude? You win. Ridiculous. Look at the wheels on. You can't tell me that's like no Chicano wheels or nothing like that, dude. Those are. You can't. That is a good C10. Good job. Whoever did that. Good job. Because that was that. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
All that horsepower too is going to the rear wheels only. So this is a rear wheel drive C10. So unlike other electric cars that are all wheel drive, all this is being put to the rear wheels. GM claims that the 0 to 60 on this is about 5 seconds, which is not bad for the amount of power you're getting on this truck. And I'm assuming it's really heavy just because of just the material the truck is made out of and all the batteries taking up the whole bed.
Now this ain't no step side though, so it don't count. This ain't no race car. If it's not a step side, it's not a C10.
Yeah. Also, this is a weird fact I found out about this. There are 3 speakers in this car to emulate the sound of an LS7 V8.
What? That is disgusting.
They're trying to keep the feel of a hot rod C10.
I mean, keep the hearing.
And so what they're trying to do is they'll have the speakers will emulate the sound of an LS7 and it will adjust to gear changes. So every time you change a gear, it will.
Hey, hold on, girl. Let me rev my engine for you. Turn up the volume.
So I find that it's really interesting. Yeah, you have that option, but you also have the option of keeping it completely silent or having it make like those futuristic battery noises you get from electric cars.
Sound like a spaceship.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just find it fascinating that GM included the option of the LS7 sounds.
Good job. Go SEMA.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say about the C10, Juan? I know you're a truck fan, American.
Because it's not a step side, so what's there to talk about? I don't talk about.
Right,
Step side would have been cool.
Tesla also has their own truck.
Yo, that looks like a hamster, dude.
So Elon Musk tweeted that he was going to be revealing the Tesla Cybertruck. That's the actual name, Cybertruck. It might change.
Surf the web with this.
But he's going to be revealing it in LA on November 21st, and he says it's supposed to cost less than $50,000.
Okay, that's not happening.
No,
But-
That's
or
not.
it probably is, but it's gonna be like 45,900.
Yeah, $49,995.
Good job, Elon.
But I don't know, with that kind of price, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. He says that it's going to outperform the Porsche 911, and it's supposed to be all-wheel drive. And I forgot. I don't know if he revealed any numbers for power output, but yeah, it's supposed to outperform other trucks. So it'll outperform an F-150. It'll outperform Silverados, all that. It's supposed to give you the same functionality of a regular truck, but still, get you faster than a Porsche 911.
Is it just gonna be a 2-door?
Not sure. Like I said, he's going to reveal it on November 21st.
Yeah, this is
so
SEMA.
more info will be revealed later on in the month.
You ever seen SEMA cars how they all always look round,
Well,
and then when you get production,
this
and
isn't
it's
actually announced at SEMA. Tesla does their own events. They're kind of like Apple, the Apple of the car world. So they're going to have their own event.
What are they going to be called?
Is it? Not sure.
TeslaCon, ElectricCon.
It'll be interesting seeing
No
this
Priuses.
truck, if it's actually revealed to the public. So next thing we got, Justin brought this up
Oh,
to
this is
me.
my bad boy. I love this thing a lot.
Yep. So at SEMA, there's going to be a Honda. It's probably been already presented, but there's a Honda Civic that was converted to rear-wheel drive, and it makes about 926 horsepower at the wheels with a K24 engine.
That's fast.
Yeah, so Honda's teamed up with Generic Racing and Olsen Custom Work for this bad boy here.
We had not seen this thing in action, like the drifting at all. It's
No.
just supposed to be set up to drift.
Right now, it's just only on display at SEMA, and it looks really cool. The styling looks amazing. The wing looks like it's supposed to give it a good amount of functionality, especially.
I mean, it's rear-wheel drive now,
Yeah,
so it's
rear-wheel drive, so
actually
it's going
does
to need
something.
some downforce. But yeah, it looks pretty sick. Can't wait to see it in action. And then we have a 900 horsepower Ford
Juan, is that you?
Mustang Lithium by Webasto. And so Ford's coming out with this vehicle called the Mach-E. And so I guess they came out with this Mustang because I think Ford's going toward electric cars now or something.
Somebody in the office was like, Mach 3.
Yeah, so yeah, they're coming out with all this. I don't know. We're seeing a lot of electric vehicle news lately. So you have this Ford Mustang, and it's all electric. It's powered by an 800-volt Webasto battery. It has a dual-core electric motor that produces over 900 horsepower and more than 1,000 pound-feet of torque.
Yeah, it's like my blender.
So a lot of power being made. And it also comes in a manual transmission, which actually seems pretty cool for an electric vehicle. That's unheard of.
You know, in a blender you can switch speeds.
So yeah, most electric vehicles now are
got a
automatic, but yeah, the option here is just amazing, and it doesn't really look too different from a regular Mustang. I believe there's like a carbon fiber hood and some carbon fiber skirts and other stuff for weight reduction because batteries are pretty heavy.
To hit them crowds faster. You know what I mean? Weight reduction.
I
for
believe
more people.
Was it? I can't remember the wheels. I think they're 20-inch wheels, and the stance on the car is about 1 inch lower than stock Mustang GT.
That's life.
And here's a look at the interior, by the way. They got it highlighted in this like electric blue color because
I like the screen.
electric. Yeah, that's a 10.7-inch display.
That is a straight up iPad Max
So,
in there. It's ridiculous.
Don't know if Ford's actually gonna start rolling these out into all their future Mustang models, but I don't know. It kind of fits in with the interior here. It looks pretty good.
I don't lie to you, I'm not digging that. I'm not digging that teal accent there.
Yeah, the blue kind of sticks out, but I mean, with the rest of the car, it kind of fits, and it's supposed to stay with the theme of, a lithium-powered Mustang. But yeah, that's all the news that we got time for, and yeah. So all links to everything. So links to the articles that we looked at and the pictures are all going to be in the show notes and in the description. Check out our website, project4official.com. That will also be down below. Check out our Instagram, our YouTube, if you're an audio listener. And yeah, any news for Project 4 coming up or for you guys in general? Because I don't know, we're in the middle of the off season and just
There's really nothing going
yeah,
on.
there's really nothing going on. We haven't really had plans to modify even our own cars.
I mean, Black Friday is coming soon.
Yeah,
so-
Black Friday is coming, so we might be able to find deals on parts.
I bought a dog. Dang it. Wrong time.
Yeah, we recorded this a week early too, so any of this news might seem a little bit late because this is going up about a week later. But yeah, that'll be it for this episode of the podcast. So stay tuned. In about 2 weeks, we'll come out with another episode. So Project 4 out.